Booker, 2-year extension with the Suns, $70 million per season.
Yes. Yes, I did see that. Crazy.
I just that's I like Devin Booker. I do. He's fun. He drives cool cars. Like he got to the NBA Finals. Is he $70 million good, or
Um,
is that just where we're at?
I mean, I kind of just think that's where we're at, especially if you're keeping him as your guy. That's just unfortunately how everything's been flowing.
Well, so I was going to say, so the Suns made a bunch of trades. What's their roster look like right now? Because you trade away. Let's see here. I'm on NBA.com. Let's see. So you kept Booker, you kept Beal, you got Jalen Green, Mark Williams. I'll tell you what, it's not a great roster. I'm just saying for the supposed new stuff that they did.
Yeah, this isn't looking like. I mean,
Are you
when
looking
you
at it
have
right now?
KD on your roster, it's kind of hard
Yeah,
to
it looks a little different.
improve. But I mean, you trade him out. Now you have Dylan Brooks, who, don't get me wrong, number 2 team in the West last year, but I don't think that was because of him.
No, and to be fair, he's only making 21 next year. It's like on the cap hit, but you trade for Jalen Green. The issue is you now have Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Jalen Green, all his shooting guards. Who's who's going to take the ball up the court? I think is the issue. Not that Kevin Durant was doing it. I get it, but you have a bunch of shooting guards, which is fantastic to add to Grayson Allen, who's also a guard. I don't I don't know. I don't like this team right now.
No, there's definitely more moves that they need to be made here to at least compete, unless that's not their plan, which I find it hard to believe that it's
Um,
not.
as of today, they have they are 27th in cap space. They are way over the cap. But yeah, I guess Kevin Durant was a problem, right? That's why he got rid of him.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see here what I mean, they were 36 and 46, so not that expectations are high there, but you at least got to look for improvement year to year, right?
Have to. Well, so the other thing was that the Knicks had their introductory press conference with the new coach, with Mike Brown, and I'm
Yes.
reading a lot of like people are excited. It's like, man, like for what Thibodeau couldn't do, the hope is that Mike Brown can kind of fill in those gaps, right? If you can keep a plus defense and introduce a decent offense for this group, like maybe everything doesn't just revolve around, the 2 or 3 superstars, which is one way to do it. I'm not disagreeing with that. I just think the issue is you've now made, you made a deep run. You've now lost 2 years in a row to Indiana, who without Tyrese next year is going to be struggling. But it's really just, Boston's going to be down, Indiana's going to be down. Cleveland, I think, will rebound. Cleveland had a great regular season, but it's really just us and them. Like those should be your top 2 seeds. And I think for the Knicks, I think anything, like ESPN article right now came out this morning, has it tiered the East teams. It has Cleveland 1 with the Knicks in the top seed. That says anything short of the finals is a failure. And I think that's fair because if you were to run back the same season, we run into Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals. One of those teams, whatever team makes it, great. That's what you should be doing. Their season's a failure because you're committing so much money and resources to this team. that's the only option.
Yeah. I mean, especially after coming off, I mean, Cleveland exit a little earlier than the Knicks, but especially coming off that, like the only improvement in that is to make it to the finals.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Again, once you get there, then you don't know. But so the teams that are in the second tier below, Magic, Hawks, 76ers. I don't believe in Philly. But Paul
I
George, Joel Embiid,
yeah,
Quentin Grimes, like they have some names.
it's possible. I just think that shot by Kawhi those years ago just kind of put an ice knife in the heart of Philly
Oh, I
because
believe
they
that.
haven't really been anything, in my opinion, to talk about since then.
Yeah, I
Like
think.
they're there. Like Joel
Yeah,
Embiid's putting up good
exactly. They're
numbers.
there.
They're
That's a
there,
great way to put it. Yeah.
you know, but
You
it's
know they're
not
going to
like,
have an average
oh,
season
I'm
every
worried
game.
about Philly. Right.
No,
Right.
no, no. I agree with that. Even in again, that's including former MVP Joel Embiid or Paul George, who signed this mega deal with them. But Philly doesn't scare me. And again, maybe that's coming from a Knicks fan because of 2 seasons ago when we had that long series that went 6 or 7. Like the Knicks have proven that they can get over that hump. I don't see Philly getting back in that driving seat. Atlanta made a lot of changes though. So you pick up Porzingis, you pick up Nikhil Alexander-Walker, you pick up Luke Kennard, and then add to that, you still have Trae Young, you still got Dyson Daniels. I don't know. The Hawks are interesting. I'm not saying anything on it, but I think the Orlando Magic are probably. I would think they're going to fit into that third seed. I'll say this: the Magic are a lock for home court in the first round. They will be a top
Okay.
4 seed. That's going to be
Okay.
my lock right now. Because I liked them a lot last year, but they really struggled on offense and had a bunch of injuries. And I think you trading for Desmond Bain, although I think four first round picks is a lot for him. Like sharpshooter, like he's a guy on offense that could help, and I think that's a decent recipe for them. I don't really see anybody else in the East coming out. Again, maybe the Pistons, who've had a decent season, but I don't know. Kate Cunningham, I think, can do whatever he wants. He'll figure it out, but I don't know if I trust them to be like a top 4 seed.
So who do
We'll have
you
to see.
have if you've got Orlando guaranteed top 4? You've said Cleveland. Cleveland, New York should be 1-2. Who's 4? Who's going to round out home court in the East? Do you think?
I okay. So here's what I got. Let me break this down for you. I think I'm going to go Cleveland, New York, 1-2 again. I don't know what the order is going to be, but if we're going to go off of how this year went, Cleveland finished 13 games ahead of the Knicks. So let's put Cleveland as the 1 seed back to back years. Fine with it. Let's say Knicks with the 2. I'm going to say Orlando with the 3. And this is tough here, man. I want to believe in Detroit, but I think Milwaukee's got a better chance. The 4. I don't know if I can count out Giannis and then you add Miles Turner so they have a big man. I understand you lose Dame, but that really didn't work.
No, not how probably some of us were hoping for, or at least envisioned was going to work.
But you're telling me a scorned Giannis, and you get the big man who can also shoot, right? Essentially, he's just a younger version of Brook Lopez, and that took them to winning the finals. That combo. Something tells me, man, that might be. I think I'm gonna put Milwaukee at the 3. I'll put Orlando 4, and then 5-6. Let's go Detroit 5, Atlanta 6. And those are your guaranteed playoff teams. And then I think
Guaranteed,
it's
not in the
as in
play-in.
you're not the play-in, right? And then looking at the play-in, I probably let's put Indiana in there. I don't know if Boston falls that far, so let's put Boston maybe at like the 7 seed.
What
I know they
about
made some
Miami,
trades.
who just made it here?
Yeah, but Miami 37-45. I don't know if I trust them. Like if you have to think about it, if Philly, who had only had 24 wins, if Philly rebounds, they're knocking one of these teams out. And I think it'll be Chicago and probably Miami that get knocked out.
Okay.
You know what? Let's say this. Let's say Miami had the worst record. Let's say Miami gets bumped. Philly gets in. So Philly in is the play-in team. So my play-in teams would be 7 through 10. I'd have Boston, Indiana, Atlanta. Oh no, sorry, Boston, Indiana, Chicago, and Philly as my bottom 4. That's yeah. I think I'm gonna rock with that. That looks good to me.
I mean, I like that. I think definitely plausible. I don't know. I don't know how well Indiana and Boston are going to rebound after these. I mean, they made the playoffs, but how are they going to rebound after not having their or one of their star
Superstars,
players?
yeah. No, I think that's
Yeah,
fair, and it's tough for every team. But I I think the better way to ask it. So Boston, you lose some role players. Can can Brown do enough, right, to kind of shoulder the burden and be that number one? And we're gonna find out, right? I don't know if a team that was the champs 2 years ago with a great coach with a really good superstar, even if one is down hurt, I don't know if I count that team to only win 30 games. Like they're going to figure it out at some point to win some of those close games, even if you're just beating up on bad teams. That's why I think that they get in as a playoff team, as a playing team.
okay, that's a fair point.
In Indiana, on the other hand, you lose Tyrese, but how much of that team was really built around Halliburton?
I mean, they won plenty of games where he scored not a lot of
Two,
points.
3, 4 points, exactly.
Yeah,
Now,
so
losing Miles Turner hurts, right? Because they're going to have to replace him, but everybody else is still there. This is a team where even when Halliburton was out in that game in that game 7 against OKC, they still gave it a good fight. Albeit there was no chance that we're going to win that, but TJ McConnell, you know, I did some magic, whatever he did. But there are guys on that team who can score 15 to 20 points a game, and I think can cover for Halliburton. I think that's why I think that Indiana still gets in as a play-in, even if, like you said, no superstar. But it'll still hurt. They won't. I don't know if they'll be crack 500, but the East. I'm looking at the records now. The East was bad last year. 37 wins gets in, 40 wins gets in, 39 wins gets in. There has to be something for those two teams. Now the West, on the other hand, the West was a lot more competitive. 3 teams on 50 wins, 2 teams on 48 wins got in. Dallas, lowest team, got in with 39 wins. But like, here's my question for you. If we switch to the West real quick. Phoenix was 36-46 last year. Have they done enough with the 7-team trade that came in to add 4 wins, right, to get to 40? That would have got them as a playoff team, as a playing team. Have they done enough?
I honestly, I don't think so. I don't think so. Based on these other teams in the West records, I mean, you're talking a lot more wins on the, 1 through 8 versus the East. So in like the East, you play your Eastern Conference opponents more. So these
Right.
teams at the very top are just slamming dubs, but any of these 1 through 8 games are just a coin toss. At some point, I don't think with what they've lost and what they have now currently, I don't think it's enough to get them 4 wins, boosting up past the Mavericks, especially if we see Cooper Flack come out here and I don't want to say
That
take
was going to be
over,
my next
but
question. Yeah, who out of these bottom teams in the West drops out? I think you said Memphis loses Desmond Bain, but they picked up a haul for him. So maybe they don't improve this year, but maybe that's like a long term thing. But you're telling me a team that went 48-34 has to get 12 games worse for one of these other teams to get in. Like it's not a matter of it was only 2 or 3 games. Like maybe somebody like the East, maybe somebody sneaks in as a playing team. Now looking from the bottom, like Utah, bad. Like they're a project. New Orleans, same thing, project. San Antonio, Victor comes back. Like they're probably my favorites here to try to sneak in as a plan. Maybe they pass like a Sacramento-ish. I don't know. I think a full season of Victor, especially year 3, there's no way they don't make a push for it. I don't know. And I know the free agency is still going on and things are not set yet. But it's starting to shape up a little bit. A lot of the guys are landing certain places. Trades are getting done. Like you just said, the Booker deal's getting done.
I don't know.
I did also see Lakers added
spicy enough.
Ayton, which we'll have to see. Oh, here are your. I'm sorry. Here the West. West was done 2 days ago. So here are the tiers for the West. This is from ESPN. So Oklahoma City, number 1, clear cut. That's fair. Tier 2, ready to deny a repeat champ. You get the Houston Rockets, the Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves are your top 3, or your next 3, I should say.
All right.
The old guard, tier 3, you got the LA Clippers, the LA Lakers, Golden State Warriors, Dallas Mavericks. That puts you at 8 teams right now. Then you have tier 4, which is the young and hungry. So you got Memphis Grizzlies, San Antonio Spurs, Portland Trailblazers. Low key flaming here in tier 5. What's the plan? Sacramento Kings. Yeah, right. Phoenix Suns. That's yeah. New Orleans Pelicans. Yes. Utah Jazz. So if you're gonna bump, if you're gonna bump Phoenix down that low, I think it's fair to say that there's no chance. Also, Sacramento.
Sacramento getting bumped down to what's the plan?
That's interesting. Again, you lose your coach, right? Because that's who got the next job. So that is a reset button you're gonna have to press.
Let's see if they've got anything going on. It doesn't look like it.
No, I think they're just rocking, right? You made your trades. You kept Sabonis. You got DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine. But what else? It even says here, when the 3 of them were on the court, they had an offensive rating of 117.4. In the same possessions, they have 120.9 defensive rating, but they don't win games. So basically, if you can keep those 3 together, there's a chance for them, but there's no it's not clear cut to say, oh yes, they're definitely going to make it. I don't know.
I mean, I think that could be easily one of the teams that gets bumped out there.
Yeah, I think I'd be willing to say they're going to get bumped out, and I would slot up San Antonio. Okay, well that's my NBA. I feel like the news is coming every day about a player or a team or something.
Yeah, someone finding a new home.
Yeah, I mean, I also saw Let me see. Was it NFL stuff? um, oh, it was NFL stuff. I was reading an article about. Have you read the Kirk Cousins story or not yet?
Not yet. Enlighten me.
Okay, so article comes out talking. Kirk Cousins after being on the Falcons, he felt he was misled after the Falcons drafted Penix, and I think the issue is I agree with him. And I know this is just rehashing it because Cousins, he already left, right? He's not still there. Where is he now?
That's a good question. Let's see.
Or am I getting him confused? No, I thought he. Oh no, so he still is on the Falcons. Okay, but I know that there's been conversations about him leaving. So the issue is, I think that he's going to get put into a bind about what he's going to do because they committed the money to him, signed the guarantee over $100 million. Then you draft Penix in the first round, top 10. So, like, what's the plan? And I know we kind of talked about it a couple weeks ago with Eric of the GMs and which sport would be the toughest, and could you do it? Not Joe Schmo, but could somebody who knows a little bit about the individual sport? I think this is just proving that people don't know what they're doing.
You think this is a Madden NFL dynasty mode and Buddy's making the wrong decisions in there?
Somebody put it on Sim and said, "Huh, my Sim career did this. I should do this too." And then forgot that they were playing real life because it doesn't make sense to me that you would do something like that. And again, I think NFL is like the easiest one to look at because huge league and there's so much scrutiny and media coverage and whatever else, but also there's a lot of players. So it's easy to get wrapped up in contract deals and trades and free agency and the draft. But when you get it right, you get it right. Like the Chiefs have, for the most part, been getting it right for a decade. Eagles, for the most part, getting it right for close to a decade. But then you see some teams who just botch it. The Browns, right? Easy choice. The Falcons have been mediocre, if not worse, since the 28-3. And I just think that there are a couple pieces there. Like you got beat on a couple years ago. Like I never trusted the Kyle Pitts experiment, but there were some high draft picks that I think the Falcons could have turned into something. It just seems weird. Why would you do this? I think that's what it comes down to. And I was thinking about that because of our conversation with Eric about the GM thing, and I was sitting there, I was like, it doesn't make any sense to me, and nobody else understands it. But I had bookmarked this. I wanted to run this by you. This is
all right. Let's hear it.
This is an article detailing the 2028 Summer Olympics with the best, or this person's best, U.S. flag football team for NFL players. And I want your opinion.
And we're talking 7v7.
I think it's 7. Right? No, 5-a-side. 5-on-5.
5-on-5 NFL football?
5-on-5, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, NFL flag football?
Flag, yeah.
Oh, man.
So here are your positions. So you get quarterback, running back, wide receiver, center, which I think is you get 2 wide receivers, right? Then rusher, defensive back, safety. And I think you get 2 safeties, and I think you can add double up on a D-back as well.
I'm gonna need let me see here. I'm gonna have to type this out. So I'll be thinking might make some adjustments. All right. Run those by me one more time. We got running back, 2 receivers, quarterback, and a center. And then we got your rusher, I guess what?
D-back, safety.
I don't know what kind of defense I would run. I guess just all D-backs. Yeah.
So, and I can give you these are the official NFL flag rules. So, the roster has to be 10 players deep, and there's no limit on the amount of players at each position. So, for instance, if you were to take uh, somebody who could be a running back and a wide receiver, right? They don't have to slot in at a position, but you get 10 players total.
Okay.
But those are your base positions. So first one, obviously quarterback. Let me give you the flag rule first. Flag football quarterbacks cannot run on designed carries or scrambles unless handed off first. But they need the mobility to escape the blitz and extend the pocket as much as possible within 7 seconds. I
Those
want
are unless handed off first. So these are easy things you can like work around because you can
Oh,
backwards
absolutely.
lateral, and
Yes.
then in the frat league that's all they would do. They would run stack left or right, meaning you had one receiver on the line and one receiver stacked right behind him. And then you ran whatever you wanted on the left hand side. It was 7v7, so you had a center, the quarterback, a running back, and then two receivers on each side. So you can run whatever
Okay.
formation you wanted to. You could even just do like twins right stack, so you end up having like three receivers on the right hand side, two of them on the line, one off the line, and then one stacked behind them.
Okay.
And the one stacked would just take a step back at the snap,
Mm.
and the quarterback would look left to the left one receiver for the solo, or if you had two over there, you would look left for the two routes, see if you can get a quick like slant out route going or a smash route, so a stop on the outside and a corner on the inside, make that cornerback think a little bit. You don't see anything, you just turn and throw it to the wide receiver that was stacked. You run 5 yards up the field, and then the wide receiver throws it right back to you, and you just play
Okay.
against the rusher's momentum. And so the rusher's running at the quarterback, you throw it to the right, so then he stops, runs to the right, and you throw it right over his head, and it's a 5-10 yard gain every single time. Um, so I don't
Okay. So you
think
might have just broken
the
flag football. I get it.
well, this was what one of the fraternities ran in flag football, and they did kind of have a little bit of a dynasty at Florida State, at least for the intramurals, that is.
Okay.
So I would say that the no running is less of an issue. So you could take
You
someone
could scheme
like
around it.
it's dumb not to take Lamar Jackson as your quarterback, I think.
So I was going to say, is that are you locking that one in? Is that your pick?
I I think he's one, Jaden Daniels is two for me.
Okay. If I were to give you a third option, who would you pick?
Probably Patty.
Okay. So I can tell you the article here. So they have Daniels going one. They have Lamar as an alternate. Their third choice is Joe Burrow because of age. Because
Age.
again, it's not till
No.
2028.
Okay. All
So
right. I guess
they think Mahomes is going to be a little old.
a little old. All right. I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm
For
okay with
reference,
that. I can't think.
Daniels Daniels at the time of the Olympics is only going to be 27.
He'll be that, and then if you think, if we're thinking, 2 years in the future, like this whole Falcons Penix thing, like he could be nasty,
Could be, yeah.
especially as a left-hander.
True.
So, because that
But does he have the
automatically,
mobility?
I think mobile
Remember,
enough.
he had the knee injury when he was in college.
Okay. Also, this is the Olympics. Who are we playing?
It's a good point. However, I will say a lot of things I've been reading, a lot of these guys who know that they won't make it for the U.S. team, like if they have parents or grandparents from other countries, like they're
Are
gonna
claiming other countries. That's
exactly.
which is absolutely fair. If you have a chance to play in the Olympics,
You take
chase
it,
it. Chase
but
it.
that means that these teams are not going to be nobodies. It's going to be
Okay.
NFL quality. At
Okay.
least my prediction is going to be it's going to be NFL quality guys. Okay, so quarterback, yep, love that. I think that's a good one. Running back.
I think honestly, this would be one of those positions where you flex a third receiver if you want.
Okay.
If you're not flexing a third receiver, there's one choice here. I'm not even going to give you an alternate, and it's Saquon.
Ooh, Saquon is not listed here.
Okay, I'm curious.
And again, I
I'm
don't
curious
know if
too.
I don't know if that's an age thing. I don't know if that's an American thing. I don't know. So they have the alternate listed as Bijan, and it said
Okay.
a lot of the details that they put in here is receiving skills as like the most important thing because you can double up as a route runner as well in
Yes.
flag.
Yes. Yes.
Their number one option is Jameer Gibbs.
Okay. The Lions did abuse that. Um, I I mean, I don't see why not. I just think I'm going for freakish athletes. Not
Fair.
that those two people are not, but
But again, you can't run somebody over in
exactly.
flag.
No.
So
You can't well
maybe
you
I get that.
can. You can.
Well,
You're just gonna
yeah,
get a
sure.
flag. No, I've
Right.
tried. Trust me, I've tried. And you get a flag. The refs don't like that. So
Okay. On to wide receiver.
onto wide receiver.
There's one listed and there's an alternate.
I'll tell you here, if I'm flexing a receiver in this position, I'm going for nah. Cubs gonna be
Actually, I'm
old.
sorry. There's two listed and there are two alternates.
Two
So you get
receiver
four options
positions and
here.
then two alternates. Okay,
Yes.
hold on. Let me bust open. Let me bust open my fantasy real quick.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And because of the way this guy did it, they didn't actually list a center. They listed the center, which is actually wide receiver. So there are 6 wide receivers chosen.
Yeah, I was thinking I'm not choosing
Yeah,
a
you're right.
center. I'm
No.
flexing that position easily too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
I
3 starting
let me
and 3
just give
alternate.
you
Timmy.
let me just give you a list of receivers that you have to go
Sure.
with, right? Jamar. Jamar
Jamar
Chase. Jamar Chase.
is listed. Yes. He's listed
Boom.
as a center. Yeah.
Jamar Chase, easy. Because any of these guys you can put in any of those three positions or flex to your running
Correct.
back if you wanted to. Jamar, I'm taking him. I'm taking Marvin Harrison Jr. just because it wouldn't hurt to have
Was
some
not
size.
listed.
He's not listed, but that's okay.
No.
We're two
There
two
is
years from now,
a teammate of
he'll be
his though.
listed. A teammate of his. Okay, hold
Not
on.
not from this year. College teammate of his.
Ooh. Um. Okay, who?
Jeremiah Smith.
All right.
Because he
Uh,
will have completed his rookie season in time for the 2028 Olympics.
okay. So they're predicting possible. I don't want to say possible success in the NFL. We're fingers
You're
crossed
hoping
for
his
him.
trajectory continues, yeah.
Right, if of course. So I'm down for that. Yeah, he just had a monster season.
Okay, but the rest of them are all pro. So who else you got?
Okay, I got Travis Hunter.
No.
Okay, I
Well,
have
he might be
I
listed on the defensive side, but
I
he's
was gonna
not listed
say
on offense.
I have a problem with that because you can flex him two ways and add yourself an extra someone somewhere else. So
Fair enough, fair enough. But he's not listed as a dedicated wide receiver.
he's he's on this list. He's playing some whiteout for me. I'm telling you that.
Okay, okay, love it.
Um, honestly, I want to take Tyreek, but
Ooh, might
he's
be an age.
probably not on here.
Yeah, might be an age thing for that.
Might be an age thing. If we were playing it today, backyard football,
Yeah,
he's up
he's
there.
getting picked for
He's
sure.
up
But
there.
no, he's not on this list.
T. Higgins and Devontae Smith.
Neither.
I have questions.
So
I have
think
questions. I'm
okay.
gonna
So
I'm
so
gonna give
the
you.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
The way that, and I will say again, this particular writer is thinking it's only a 50-yard field, so you're thinking 50-50 jump balls, quick separation off the line, That's the mindset here. Right, necessary skills: route running, coverage manipulation, and play speed, matchability, vertical element, stuff like that. So with that in mind, I don't think your options are bad. That's just what this particular guy is putting.
I think I'd like to draft a team and watch them win the ship. That's what I think.
I don't hate.
All right, hit me with what they got at receiver.
Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
So they have Justin Jefferson, Jeremiah Smith, and Jamar Chase as your starters. Alternates would be CeeDee Lamb. It's not a bad option.
No.
Malik Neighbors, who had a
Okay.
great year, and Garrett Wilson. Which I like Wilson a lot, but and maybe his skills translate it, but I'm not a total believer in like over some of the guys that you listed. But that's your offense. And I will say, I don't know if there's another country that could compete with that in the first place. But I think the defense makes it even a little scarier. So they have rusher. So I have one starter, one alternate. Who you got?
So this is tough because what do? Do you put someone like, Bosa or someone big there, or I don't know? Do you go for like a safety or a nickelback and hope their athleticism keeps the quarterback contained?
I'll say this, and I think this was the right choice. It's Micah Parsons.
Okay. And then
it's hard for me to argue. The alternate is his college alum, Abdul Carter.
if
Assuming, right? Like you said, assuming his trajectory stays the same, which is fine.
I think. All right. For the sake of having a player and an alternate in each position, I think fine. I think there I try to sneak in an extra DB or wide receiver. Maybe that's where I slot my Travis Hunter, because it will make a difference switching the rusher on the quarterback in a flag football game. And to have two, I don't want to say big guys, but I mean they're big guys, right? They are athletic as hell. I'm sure their 40 times are in the 4.5, 4.6 range, which is faster than I can run, just for reference, at least currently. And but switching that up for an even faster guy can change the pace of the game and some crucial downs and stuff. So I think there I might try to slot in another skills guy, but that's just me.
Okay. All right, on to your DBs. I've got 3 starters and 3 alternates for DBs. I'm gonna give you. I'll let you. Travis Hunter is a starter here. There you go. So you did.
Okay.
You already got that one going.
Perfect. So he made the squad.
Yes. Who else?
Derwin James?
No.
Okay. I'd like to say that's a little Florida State hate, but maybe I'm just biased. Crap. All right, we're going to go another Florida State guy. He might be hitting that age thing, though. Jalen Ramsey?
Too old.
Okay.
I would say this one's a little tougher. So Pat Surtain.
It is. I don't know my DBs as well as I probably should. Growing up a DB.
Yeah, fair. Pat Surtain, the second out of the Broncos. Alternate was Derek Stinley. Again, good choices. Travis Hunter, alternate Sauce Gardner, who had a down year last year, but I feel like he would thrive in that element. And then the last one, white boy Cooper DeJean, with his backup being Trent McDuffie.
Okay, Mr. Kickoff return or punt return for a touchdown on his birthday.
That's exactly what it
says
here.
Sir.
Return ability and also he also played a little bit of offense. So
Okay.
I don't know, man. And then for safeties, they have Antoine Winfield for Tampa Bay, with his alternate being Xavier McKinney.
I think that's a good squad.
Not a bad squad.
gives you
I would
options to rotate two safeties high. Send. You can go with an all. You could call it the nickel of flag football and go with all DBs. Have a DB as a rusher and do whatever you want.
I would struggle, and I'm sure when they get closer, there will be players who announce for different countries, but I would really struggle to think of another country's roster that could compete with that.
No, at least in all aspects of the game, because they're gonna line up and be like, okay, we got the matchup. They have one DB. We got yeah, CD, Travis Hunter. Like we just stacked those on the same side. Jamar Chase on the solo with Justin Jefferson snapping. What do you do?
Man, as much as I hear and respect the opinion of the guys who have played flag football, especially like representing the United States, it's such a cool thing. I get that. If you were to compare those athletes to your NFL athletes who have a similar skill set, there's no way the NFL athlete doesn't come out on top. Like, there's no way there is a flag football only quarterback that is better than a Jaden Daniels or Lamar. I don't believe it.
See, and here's where I might disagree.
Okay.
I think maybe not a tryout, but maybe a play-in tournament. Have USA A team be this NFL drafted team and do like a 16 team, because I don't know, I got a couple friends on Facebook that participate in these professional like flag football leagues everywhere and win decent money winning them. Actually coached with one of them. Shout out Coach Eric. But I, like these guys are just as big almost. And if you take out the pads and stuff, like it
Yeah,
could
I mean,
be
I like the idea of the plan. Right, make it competitive to get in. I love that idea. I think you should trademark that idea. A play-in flag football tournament would do numbers, is what I'm saying. Um, I and maybe quarterback wasn't the best example. Maybe I think like wide receivers, like a Jamar Chase, a Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, or whoever. These are just freak athletes, and I know that we're projecting that their skill can carry over to the flag football, which is a different variation of the game. I get that, but I think it would be a genuine surprise if the roster isn't all NFL guys. Like, you only have 10 spots. Do you think that USA is throwing somebody on there that's a traditional flag player?
probably not because they're not picking up street ballers.
Right, exactly.
So and I have seen videos most recently of Alex Caruso in the gym playing pickup,
Oh, I
absolutely
did see that.
torching, absolutely torching the gym. And it's like, okay, they are a different breed. And you're talking these guys were the best of the best of their high school, best of the best of their college. And the guys playing flag football now were probably also best of the best of their high school and quite potentially best of the best of their college, but it wasn't Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow winning a natty.
Yeah, maybe. And actually, here, let me look. Let me look at the roster. I kind of want to. I hate all these guys out, but here we go. So we have won the Flag Football World Championship 6 times, most recently 2024. A lot of gold medals. Let's pull up the roster from 2024. Okay. We beat Austria in the final 53-21. Ooh, we'll say we smoked some people. beat Spain 57-25, beat Brazil 52-6, beat Serbia 49-14. And then once you get to the knockouts, we beat the Czech Republic 68-18, beat Italy 46-21, we beat Switzerland 45-6, and like I said, Austria 53-21. So I fear we are smoking them. Let's see here.
Yeah, like it's already bad.
Here are your athletes. First guy that comes up, Michael Better. See his bio. 39 years old, 5'10". Oh no, first year on the team. I don't want to look at him. Let's look at this guy's from Orlando, wide receiver DB. Let's see. Velton Brown. 28, 5'10". Played at Oak Ridge, then Jones High School. Third round pick in 2022. Through 2 NFL seasons, 8 interceptions.
That's not bad.
He's a safety. Let's see. He Ooh, this is interesting. Played for the Orlando Phantoms a little bit. That doesn't tell me much, though. I want to know why. Like, what makes you might, because you didn't cut it at your team, right? Or like you said, you thought you could do it. I'm so sorry. When I was reading you the stats about getting drafted, that was his teammate, Kirby Joseph. But
Oh,
teammate in high school. That was
okay.
not him. So you caught that. I needed to clarify that. He did not play in the NFL. I want to see the QB. Turrel Doucet. Turrel Doucet, sorry. 35, 5'7". Oh man, it's just guys who like you said, played in high school. And were good. Guys who were good and played in high school, but that's it. Realized you couldn't play at the next level, and then actually, so he played intramural flag football, Xavier University of Louisiana, for 4 years. That's probably what you do. I don't know. That is going to be something I want to keep my eye on though as we get closer, because I think that event's going to have the juice to like pull real viewership, people who aren't even necessarily fans of like football, because I think that's just going to be something new, something interesting. Everyone's going to want to turn it on and see how these athletes are doing.
I
But
agree. I'm definitely my interest is peaked now. So
yeah, especially now that these guys want to come and play. I will say, and I don't want to jinx it, but I will say, 3v3 basketball had a lot of juice coming in, and like US has not been good. And I know that's not our sport, and I know like Jimmer Fredette, who was playing, was like 40 years old. I get that, but I do think the US could dominate this. But it'll be fun to see.
indeed, I think we. I mean, I think it's kind of an expectation for us to dominate this.
Yeah, I mean we have the NFL. While we have most of this league is American. Um, Not a guarantee, of course, but you got enough guys that you could put the A squad, a B squad, a C squad together, and turn them all in and see what happens.
And they'd be playing each other in the championship probably.
This is
All
true.
three, all three of them somehow.
C squad gets in on a technicality. Trying to think, what else you got?
Um,
I think I want to save think I want to save the US game. I think I want to save that for later.
That's
So
fair.
we talked
That's fair.
some basketball,
Let
talk
it
some
mull over a little
football.
bit.
Yeah, I mean it happened on Sunday. We'll give it a couple more days. What else you got?
Nothing I saw. Jokic, more basketball, but delayed his contract extension talk
Okay.
till next year. You think this could be him? Like, okay, they fired our coach right before or during the playoffs? I think it was right before.
Right before,
What
it's
do
like a
we?
week before.
Yeah. What do we got this year, and then maybe out, or you think there's no chance he ever thinks about leaving?
I'm gonna say this. I think a normal person that had the experience that he had of coach and GM, both of them getting fired. I feel like you'd have to start considering like what's the future of this franchise look like. I feel like that's a very normal thing.
Yeah, and like he's already got one, and I don't know if you remember how he reacted to winning that. He was just like, yeah, kind of like, yeah, cool, we won, like that.
Basically.
Well, let's keep going.
I yeah, I think I'm gonna say there's a pretty decent chance that I mean, look, he's a superstar, man. If he wanted to, he would have the pick of whatever team he wanted to go to. He's going to instantly improve any team that he walks into. Now, I will say, because of how limiting a trade would be, it would be super hard for a team to try to get him, and I get that. So if the option then is, hey, we're going to look at, I don't want to re-sign my extension. I think he's got 3 years left, which would only put him at 32 or 33. Like I feel like he's got miles left. He could probably play another 8 or 9 years, especially as a big center who's crafty and a good ball handler and stuff like that. But I think, what do I think? I think it's more likely he wants to probably see what the Nuggets are going to do over the next season, right? Because like I said, he's still under contract for 3 years. It's not like he's leaving next year. But I think it's more likely that he wants to mull it over, see what's going to happen, and if he's happy with the moves or trades or whatever he's being fed, story wise, then I think that he probably will re-sign and then finish his career there. That's my guess.
Okay.
Right? Because why wouldn't you? Like you're the man right now.
Yeah, they'll pay you whatever they want, or at least they should.
They're going to build a statue outside of the stadium for him. Like he is the man. Seriously though, you win a title,
Yeah,
you win 3 MVPs. You could do whatever you want, but your coach, who you've been working with, as well as the GM, get fired, and then you kind of flame out in the playoffs. I understand. I understand that there's a little bit of confusion or frustration. Like, show me you care. Show me you care about the end of my career. I guess I shouldn't say end. He's 30, but show me you care about the next, 7 to 8 years of my career, and I'll give you the next 5 years of it after that, and I can retire here. But they've got that's a mess. That's another mess of a situation. If you lose Jokic, like you're toast, man. Because that franchise is built so much around him. I don't know. He's one of those ones that I enjoy watching him play. I want the best for him.
I agree. He's a personal fave. I love seeing him loaf around the court and then chuck
That's a
up some
great word
weird
for it.
shot. Yeah, I mean that's that's like what it is. He's not hustling. It's just his hustling looks like a loaf.
He's just tired, man. He's just tired.
Yeah,
That's
he's
all it is.
tired. He's a big dude. He's tired. He's running up down the court. He's triple doubling. Like I'd be loafing.
Yeah, that's me too. So I get it. I think that's all I got, man.
Yeah, that's
Like I
about all
said,
I got too.
It's been it's been an interesting week, but I feel like, man, every week there's something new coming out in these different stories, and we'll have to try to stay on it. But I will say we will get we will dedicate some time to the U.S. Mexico, the Gold Cup, World Cup next year, all that sort of stuff. I will say, sorry, I will finish. Went to Mets Yankees this past week,
Okay, nice.
4th of July, up in City Field. Took my dad with me. Um, Sold out game, 42,000, packed crowd, like the whole nine. Had an absolute ball. Had a great time. The This is the third MLB game I've been to, which with plenty of minor league games as well. But the thrill of seeing home runs, like there is just something about seeing a home run live that to me will always like elicit this almost like a childish response out of people, and it's amazing to me because we went. There were 7 home runs total in the game. Like
Yikes.
I could have cared about anything else. Did not matter any other runs that were scored. The home runs every single time got everybody out of their feet, even if it was just one run, right? So I just think that that is such a cool. Touchdowns happen all the time. Goals happen all the time. There's so many different ways to score runs in baseball. Home runs are so fun. Just a cool experience. But
I can relate. That sound of it coming off the bat, you just know.
oof.
If you're at the concession stand buying a hot dog or whatever, a beer, and you hear that and you look up, you're like, oh, that's a nuke.
Oh yeah.
He
Oh, he
just
smokes that ball.
oh yeah.
Yes. So that to me is just perfection. But yeah, man, I had a great time. So I will always recommend trying to go catch your local game, even if it's minor league. I mean, we're going to another minor league game, Jumbo Shrimp, next month, end of August. So tickets are super cheap. Go out, watch some baseball, even if it's just hanging out for a couple hours. But yeah, man, that's it. That's all. That's all I got. Always a pleasure.
All right, yeah, of course, man. Always a pleasure. Appreciate having you, me.
We'll we'll have to we'll keep some tabs. We'll catch up, and then maybe we'll make some time for soccer next week.
Yes, sir. I'm here for it.
All right, man. See you.
All right, take it easy.